you never know when Larry might get you.
Well, congratulations on the film. So I was noticing that this was actually a short before, right?
It was, yeah. I made a short film called Larry a few years ago that I was lucky enough to expand into this movie.
Now that seems to be the way to go in horror movies because a lot of films and directors have gotten their start by making a short movie, and like Guillermo del Toro did the same thing with oh my God, I can't remember his name now, but he's directing the next Flash movie. He's short, Mama,
Mhm.
and then made into feature. So that happens a lot in the horror genre, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think short films are a great way as a filmmaker to sort of show people what you can do. The nice thing about horror is that you can really create a quite effective scare in a few minutes. You can build that suspense. You can do a lot with a little time, and I think that's probably why like we see so many short horror films be able to sort of transition into features in a successful way.
Well, I think you've created the perfect movie for parents. It's a PSA for kids to get off their smart devices because it's freaky. You got Larry, who's a monster coming out of a smart device.
Yeah, no, definitely a little scary. And it's look, screens are all around us. And so, you never know when Larry might get you.
Right. And then there's a lot of real life in this movie because the little kid, Oliver, he's the one that starts to see the monster, and he's autistic, so he uses his screen.
Sure. Yeah. And I should say, like, uh, every kid with autism is so different, right? Like
Yeah.
you've met one kid with autism, you've only met one kid, and this character of Oliver, he happens to be also nonverbal, and uses his devices to communicate with the world. But the fact that he's on the spectrum, as important as it was to get it right, and we really did our homework and a lot of research and observing kids and stuff. It was also just as important that all the other parts of his character were done well. I mean, being autistic is just one very small part of who he is as a character. I mean,
Right.
Oliver is well-meaning and has no guile and really believes in the best in people. So there's just so much more to who he is than being on the spectrum.
I mean, you have to have a kid do this. He's not verbal, so he has to really act with his eyes and his body. So I'm sure it was pretty hard finding a young actor as talented. I think I'm pronouncing his name, Eji Robertson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, what I would do in the auditions is I actually would write the scenes with dialogue and sort of see kids do the scenes first like that, and then like take the script away basically, and say like, okay, now communicate the same thing, but you can't use your words. And Eji was just so good at that. You can see so much in his eyes, so much emotion and depth. He has a real deep understanding of and empathy of people that are not exactly like him, and just an amazing young actor.